visionary's fate hung in the balance. Would he choose life, or succumb to deadly delusion?
Hello. So, there's an ancient city under the sand, but it's flooded.
Suddenly, a Nora spear maiden appeared.
Yeah, okay, well, you're not typical Delvers. That's for sure.
Video game graphics have certainly gotten impressive over the last couple of decades. For most games, however, facial animation still tends to be a sore point. Considering the importance of storytelling in video games these days, facial animations and expressions have become some of the most important aspects of a game's visuals. Thankfully, there have been amazing improvements in that area as well, as is evident by the list of 15 games with the best facial animations out there. Resident Evil 3 Remake.
Why is she here?
She's hoping to get the trains running again.
Bad time to start getting dead weight, friend. She's unreliable. Can't pull the trigger when it counts.
Hey, take it easy.
Jill Valentine's facial animations are captured perfectly, considering the situation she finds herself in, and the seeds of doubt that are cast when she meets other survivors throughout Raccoon City are shown off perfectly in their subtle facial tics and expressions when talking. The Last of Us Part 2.
Happy birthday, kiddo.
What is this?
This is a thing that took a mighty effort to find. Take it.
Considering just how well Naughty Dog managed to execute on facial animations in Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, is it really a surprise that the studio would knock it out of the park in The Last of Us Part 2? Considering the more nuanced story, The Last of Us Part 2's big story moments hinged on perfect facial expressions. Thankfully, the game delivers, and the melancholy of the storyline is captured excellently throughout the heart-wrenching story. God of War. While historically, Kratos has never had to display an emotion aside from anger, 2019's God of War takes a big stride forward in giving the Spartan good reason to feel more than one emotion. Visually, God of War shows this off at an incredible level, especially in some of the softer moments between Kratos and his son Atreus. Motion capture and voice actor Christopher Judge has essentially defined the character of Kratos for a new generation with his work. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep. Oh, hey, big man. We gonna ransom you or what?
You're pathetic.
Because from where I'm sitting, you're the one deserving of pity, my friend. All your men, all your money, it weren't no match for a bunch of bumpkins.
You are nothing. You do nothing. You mean nothing. You stand for nothing.
While Red Dead Redemption 2 is a big game, ultimately, it comes down to the little things. Little things like Arthur Morgan's reactions to a group of people trying to build a house, or the terror on his face as he runs from a bear. Later on in the game, there's a particularly poignant moment where Arthur has to come to terms with something throughout the game so far. And the motion capture work for his expressions help tell Arthur's story better than any words ever could. Control. Little can be said about phenomenal facial details of Control's protagonist Jesse Faden, without bringing up the great work by the actress Courtney Hope. Faden's slow transformation from a scared, relatively normal person stuck in a place as nightmarish as the oldest house, to a hardened badass that can take on the hiss, the mold, and just about any more otherworldly horrors that can be thrown at her. This works remarkably well, thanks to Hope's acting. Lost Judgment. Ryu Ga Gotoku Studios has been on a roll ever since it started using its Dragon engine with Yakuza 6, and Lost Judgment feels like a culmination of everything that the studio has learned thus far, especially when it comes to focusing on some of the finer details of characters' expressions. Protagonist Takayuki Yagami doesn't have his personal demons to haunt him in Lost Judgment, but rather the pain he feels as he goes up against systemic demons is quite obvious. Also obvious are the moments of levity that Lost Judgment and its predecessors are well known for, with scenes of quiet banter between friends. Death Stranding.
Administering shock. Stand clear.
Quite possibly one of the rare games that justifies its swath of real-world actors in starring roles, Death Stranding makes excellent use of modern technology to accurately capture not only the faces of actors, but also their acting abilities. The star-studded cast is able to flex their acting chops when thrown against an otherwise insane script written by Hideo Kojima. And for most of the game, the acting and facial expressions are spot on. Where Death Stranding stumbles with its clumsy writing, it is salvaged by the excellent performance of just about every other cast member involved, be it the serious, brooding Norman Reedus, or the goofy guest appearance by Conan O'Brien. Returnal. While Returnal has only one human character, it's worth noting that Celine's actor Jane Perry did a great job on the motion capture. Without spoiling the plot too much, as the story of Returnal becomes more clear, as does the understanding the player is bound to have for Celine. The pain and anguish Celine suffers from because of her past is shown off quite well, thanks in no smart to Perry's work. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales.
I said I'd fight for my home. I meant it.
You could have died.
Our family doesn't give up. You know that.
Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales is more than just a fun superhero game. It manages to tell one of the best stories in any of Marvel's myriad of franchises, and it's thanks in no small part to the excellent animation and facial reactions you're bound to see. Miles' story, as he grows from a novice superhero to the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, is definitely a story worth experiencing. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And that's?
The underside of Sector 6, Wall Market, a real special place. But I'm sure you already knew that, right?
I didn't tell you? I enlisted pretty much right after I left home.
While Final Fantasy VII Remake's protagonist, Cloud Strife, may not be the most emotive character in the game, it's definitely easy to see the change in his motivations, personality, and general outlook in life thanks to the facial animation for not only Cloud, but his companions as well. Tifa makes for the perfect childhood best friend. Barrett is definitely cool, gun hand notwithstanding. The emotions shown by the people that aren't Cloud ultimately have a huge hand in humanizing Cloud. And that couldn't have happened without the excellent technology used for Final Fantasy VII Remake's facial animation. Horizon Forbidden West.
You went down in that.
Yeah, I hardly expect a layperson to understand.
Because that's pretty smart.
I'm sorry. May I remind you, you got stuck inside and nearly drowned.
It'd have to be portable, though. Machine kneecap, maybe?
Well, you'd need a filter.
Synthetic membrane would do it. With a hose to a compressed
air capsule. Hammer and tongs.
What is this? What is happening here?
To look at Horizon Forbidden West and claim that it is anything but gorgeous would be a lie. The first game in the franchise, Horizon Zero Dawn, admittedly had a few issues when it came to facial animations, but Forbidden West goes above and beyond in terms of redeeming this aspect of its history. Aloy is more emotive than ever before, and this is likely thanks to the massive advance in technology involved in the switch from PS4 to PS5, and all the hardware capabilities that might also apply. Horizon Forbidden West has been expertly voice acted, and the facial motion capture is quite easily some of the best in gaming. Mortal Kombat 11.
So, this is goodbye.
Only goodbye for now. I can't leave while Shao Kahn threatens Outworld. I must seek justice for what he did to my family, and to all Edenia.
I will come back for you. to aid you, Princess.
Beyond all the blood, guts, and gore synonymous with Mortal Kombat 11 lies a personality-driven diverse roster of characters. And while they may all look quite distinct from one another, where their personalities truly shine are in their expressions. Johnny Cage's smirk when he gets one over on his opponent goes a long way in defining his overall character. And these kinds of small details are visible just about everywhere in Mortal Kombat 11. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because you're part of Green Team.
You assigned me to the team before you named it. My skin is not green. It's teal.
Teal? Listen, if we want to trick the monster into going inside that mining rig, we need to place thumpers on both sides. 2 sides, 2 teams.
While the main plot in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is a comic book-styled adventure that takes you all over the universe, its plot is anchored by genuinely heartfelt moments from Peter Quill's past. These moments, however, wouldn't have worked as well as they do if it weren't for the phenomenal facial expressions of its characters. Conversations between Quill and his mother, and even banter between the Guardians of the Galaxy themselves, show off a lot of personality, and it gives you a great picture of the relationships with one another. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy lands its subtle, quieter moments just as well as it lands its big, bombastic set pieces, thanks to the strength of its facial animations and expressions. Kana, Bridge of Spirits.
Hi. Oh, it's alright.
Don't let its cartoonish aesthetics fool you. Kana, Bridge of Spirits will definitely sink its hooks into you on the back of its facial animations. In fact, it's easy to argue that the more unrealistic art style actually helps accentuate the rather fantastic facial animations in Kana, Bridge of Spirits. It should come as no surprise, after all, that the studio behind Kana, Bridge of Spirits, Ember Lab, originally started off as an animation studio. Detroit, Become Human. Quantic Dream has long been defined as a studio by its attempts at pushing the envelope in terms of showcasing real characters with a true sense of humanity to them. Detroit Become Human is no exception. Quite easily the best-looking game the studio has made yet, Detroit Become Human allows you to get sucked into its story on the strength of its acting alone. The motion capture for even the most robotic characters is excellent, and despite the game's clumsy attempts at handling serious subjects, Detroit Become Human is still worth playing for the smaller stories it's able to tell. Did we miss any? I've always been a fan personally of the facial animations of the Dark Pictures anthology games. Sound off in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like, subscribe, and check out some of our other content. We upload every day.